Hi there guys, so round one of the Thursday night league championship at Daytona Milton Keynes, and also the very first round of my first championship. I've never done a championship before, so I wanted to give it a go. As soon as I got my gear all sorted and I felt like I had enough experience, I wanted to throw myself in the deep end a little bit. Apologies in advance for any sneezing or coughing or anything I do. For some reason my hay fever has been extreme today, so I've tried my best to clear my sinuses, not to give you all too much of a graphic detail, but it is what it is. I've literally been trying to sort this out all morning. So this is just the qualifying to start off with. I didn't really know what to expect. I was kind of... Obviously I appreciated this was going to be much more competitive than the standard show up and do a race, sprint races and the D40 I did and stuff. So I knew that I was going to be among a very high skill level, at least a moderate skill level. This is supposed to be the casual championship where people turn up and have dropped rounds. So essentially there are 12 rounds throughout the season. Each round has a different layout on the track, as you guys will see in round 2, which I have recorded with my GoPro, so I'm hoping the quality is going to be a lot better than this one. Didn't have my GoPro set up at this point, or my helmet. My helmet was being airbrushed at this time, so I had to use the rental helmets that they had at the venue itself. But the overall gist of it was, let's just see how this is. I mean, this is the international layout. There's nothing different than what you guys have seen on all the other videos I've done at Daytona Milton Keynes. So that's kind of par for the course. The major difference though is, like I just said, the skill level and the competitiveness, and I noticed it straight away in qualifying because I don't think there was a single yellow flag, which when I'm doing a practice session you get or a sprint race that people just rock up and race, there's a very clear gap of skill. You get the people who are just casuals and they just want to go karting for a bit of fun, and normally they're the ones that have the accidents or that cause the yellow flags, get penalised, etc., because they're inexperienced. You've got the people like me who kind of do this as a casual hobby. I like doing it and just experiencing it, and you know, I like to think I'm a competent go-kart racing driver. And then you get the uber fucking amazing, I've won trophies and done this every fucking year since I was in the womb people, and it's just like, oh, and then you get fucking accidents like that there, which is probably one of the bigger accidents in qualifying. Actually, I didn't remember that. Luckily it didn't hit me. So yeah, but with this, apart from me being proven completely wrong there and looking like a bold-faced liar, there's very few accidents in the championship rounds. At least the 2 rounds, touch wood, because I don't want anything to happen for the rest of the season. But yeah, the first 2 rounds were pretty accident-free. I will say, the one thing that didn't help, and you're going to notice it, the camera is bobbing a shitload. And it's not because the helmet isn't fastened. It's not because the road is bumpy. For some unknown reason to me, the cart I was given, which was cart 19, as you can, if you can read the number backwards from, or actually no, it's on my steering wheel to be fair, 19. It just fucking bounced. It was like a bouncy castle. Whenever I took a corner too fast or I broke too late, it just fucking bounced. It's almost like it had no suspension. I don't know what the fuck was going on with it. I thought it was me being a bit too aggressive, and maybe I felt a bit pressured and intimidated by everyone else, but I don't know what the fuck was going on. And then somehow I looked at my times. I might have actually pulled off my fastest time ever, a 1:17.590. Let me check. 5:70, sorry, even faster than I thought. Which is, you know, great, but at the same time, I don't know why the fuck it was bouncing so much. And then, spoiler alert, I got a different cart in round 2. It was a different cart in the next race, and it was smooth like fucking butter. It was night and day different. I didn't do anything different. I drove the same. So I'm convinced, and this is not me making an excuse for my shite performance, but I'm convinced that my kart was not up to snuff. And I did ask the question after the briefing in the second round. I was like, hey, if I'm not satisfied with the performance of my kart, is there a way I can swap it during like qualifying? And they said, make sure you do it after a few laps if we have space. But to be fair, the first round of the championship, there was a total of 23 drivers, including myself. In the second round that I did just recently, there was 30. I think it was a full grid. So it's going to vary week from week how good or how many or how good or how shit the kart is, and if I can or can't change it. Luckily, like I said, round 2 my kart was better, and overall it was a much better experience. So just to go over the conditions of the championship, there was a lot more rules than a standard race, which is kind of expected. Penalties and appeals and all that bollocks. Like, I had to read through that and make sure I had a grasp on it. Luckily, I have, not that I'm an expert in motorsport, I'm far fucking from it, but I've watched a decent amount of Formula 1 with my dad, even though I slag it off and I don't like it. I have watched a decent amount with my dad, so I kind of understood, okay, penalties and time, you know, going into the pits and delays and shit like that. So I had a kind of a grasp of that shit from the FIA rules. I'm not saying this is FIA, it's far from it. And the other thing was, they sent us a document that I had to read through that was 10 pages, and I just agreed to it, and I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. So I did have a full grasp on it. The one thing they changed very last minute, like literally I think it was the day or two before this event, before this round, was apparently they weren't doing a class system. A weight class system, and people moaned and bitched and complained, and basically it turned out they were like, oh, we've heard your feedback, we're going to do it. So the rules were simple. There was 2 categories. There was lightweight or heavyweight, and it entirely depended on your actual weight, how much you weighed in kilograms. So in order to compete, you had to be a minimum of 70 kilograms for lightweight, and if you were 90 kilograms or higher, you were in heavyweight. So I was 93.5 at this time, which put me just over into the heavyweight threshold, which personally I was happy with, because the lightweights, most of the people in lightweight were kids who were just fucking fast and light as a feather, and just, it doesn't matter how good or shit I was, I've barely been able to beat any of the regular kind of kids that just showed up. It was just fucking ridiculous how good they are and how quick they are. But they've been doing it every week probably since, like I said, they were in the womb. So I got in the heavyweight category, and essentially you're going to see a bunch of people potentially driving around very quickly, overtaking me, and I'm kind of not bothered about it. The reason being, if you were in the heavyweight category, you can't see it because it's on my right arm, but you got an armband. Oh yeah, that guy overtook me on yellow flags during qualifying and never got penalised. There's me trying to appeal it and letting the stewards know and shit, and I'm just like, I don't think anything really happened. That wasn't him, that was someone else. That was why there was a yellow flag in the first place. Nothing really came of that. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't even know if that guy was lightweight or heavyweight in the end, but yeah, that could have affected his lap time and my lap time. I don't know. But it's just, unfortunately, some shit like that gets missed. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. What was I saying? So, yeah, so lightweight and heavyweight. So the heavyweight category, which included me, like I said, I weighed 93.5. You got a I'm fucking tongue-tied. Luminescence armband that goes on one arm, and essentially that dictates to other drivers, hey, I'm in heavyweight, and if you don't have one, you're in lightweight. So despite the fact there were 23 drivers, really I was only competing with, how many were heavyweight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 9. I believe 9 or 10 of the 23 drivers were actually heavyweight. So I was competing with anyone who was a heavyweight. So when it came to picking who I had a fight with and I was defending against and attacking against, if there was a lightweight in front of me, I didn't really push to try and overtake. At least I didn't intend to. Simply because I was like, well, I can use your fucking slipstream until you pull too far away because you're a lightweight. And I can just keep maintaining fast lap times. And then the only time I really was uber defensive was when I was competing against fellow heavyweights. And that guy didn't have one. But yeah, I just sped this up. So that was the end of the qualifying. So my best time, like I said earlier, was a 1:17.570. And out of 23, and this is how competitive it was, out of 23 drivers, that placed me 18th on the grid. So yeah, that was a rough one, but it was really, really, like I said, really competitive. So I'm way at the back on this one, but it was my first championship. I didn't really know what the competition level was going to be, but yeah, I lost a few spaces already there, so I'm probably down to like 19th or 20th at this point out of 23. But I just kept my cool, and I'm like, look, this is a championship, it's my first one. This kart is clearly fucking bouncing, as you can see. It's just fucking ridiculously bouncy. It's like a bouncy castle. I feel like I was on a fucking trampoline half the time. But I just kind of kept my cool, and I'm like, look, I'm not going to hit anyone, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to stick with the leaders, the pace as much as I can in this part of shit kart, and I will see what happens. I'm bleeding positions, but if they're lightweights, I don't really care. That guy went very wide on the left. I don't know what was happening, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, it was lightweight and heavyweight, and so I'm like, okay, I'm just competing with the heavyweight people. I don't give a shit about anyone else. Let's just focus on me and see how I do. And that guy did give me enough room, to be fair. And then there was an accident. I had to brake straight the fuck away, and I spun out because I broke very hard and my tyres weren't very warm. And I lost every fucking position I had, and it was no one's fault. It was that guy got nudged. Well, it was someone's fault. I think the guy nudged him in, and then it fucking made him spin out. And then because he spun out right in front of me, I had to brake. Otherwise I would have hit him. And I'm just there, I'm just like moaning about it to myself, going, what the fuck? I was thinking, after all the build-up, after all the hype, literally first fucking lap, I just get fucked because of an accident that happens right the fuck in front of me. There's nothing I can do. So it's frustrating, but shit happens. It's just part of racing. So I'm just now trying to keep up with the pack leaders. The other thing to take into account is, even though I was kind of beating myself up, there was nothing I really did wrong there. I could have maybe broke less to avoid a spin out, but I mean, even then, I had nowhere to fucking go. I would have probably had to have waited for the other cars to go past anyway. It's just unfortunate. That's the other thing. One of the rules was do not re-enter the track when there's traffic coming in, because you'll get penalised. So I was like, well, if I just keep myself fucking clean, then I'm not going to get in trouble here through no fault of my own. But yeah, that was frustrating. Lap one, pretty much the race was over. But the rest of it was just, you know what, I'm getting experience. It's on a circuit layout. I'm familiar with the international layout. Let's just have a go, see what happens, and go from there. And I just picked myself, dusted myself off, picked myself up, and just kept going. And it was just as simple as that. There was nothing more, nothing less. Just get some experience, get my first round of my championship under my belt, calm the nerves, see what happens. And the other thing was, I wasn't really thinking it at the time, but in hindsight, I should have been a bit more optimistic than I was, because there was the opportunity of people having accidents in front of me, and I could have gained some spaces. And I think at one point there is that, to be fair. I think that did happen, unless I'm getting round 2 mixed up with round 1. It's been literally, this happened on the 31st of July, and it's the 24th of August. It's nearly a month since I've done this race. It's just been so busy since then that I haven't had a chance to really do the commentary over this. So as you can see, the sun is getting lower as well. End of July, and it's getting lower and lower, earlier and earlier now in August. And you'll see it in the second round. The fucking bouncing is ridiculous on the car. It feels like I'm in a fucking earthquake. Anyway, the sun's going down earlier now here in the UK, and the one thing that I noticed between the first round and the second round was, after the first round, you can see the sun's still coming down. There's no floodlights. I think near the end of this race there is floodlights. However, in round 2 we did our qualifying, and just as we were like 20-30 seconds from going at the grid on the grid start, fucking the lights came on. So we pretty much raced in the dark for the full race of round 2, which basically means the next round is on the 4th of September or the 3rd of September. I think it's the 4th, and that one is going to be really competitive, and it's going to be probably pitch black, like midway through qualifying, I'd imagine. Definitely for the race, because it's only going to get, the daylight is only going to get shorter now versus longer. So I've got 2 events in September. I've got the 4th of September and then the 18th of September. So So that's round 3 and 4, respectively. Then there's 3 in October. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head. I do have them on my computer, but it's off at the moment. And then there's, I think, 2 in November, one of which is on my brother's birthday, so apologies, Tom. I'm going to be missing your birthday because I'm going to be going go-karting, but it is what it is. I have to go straight after work for it. And then there is 1 in December on the 11th of December. However, me and my girlfriend will be going to Blackpool to watch the Wombats and just have a few days away and just chill. So I won't be able to attend that one. However, it's not the end of the world because it's going to be freezing fucking cold in December, I imagine. And on top of that, 4 rounds of the 12 rounds don't count. Like I said earlier, there's drop rounds. So it's a 12-round championship, and the reason it's a more casual one is because if you can't attend every single round, they basically only count the 8 best rounds you do. So I could win 8 races in a row, which I haven't so far, but I could just hypothetically say I would win 8 races in a row, come first place on all of them, and I could be a fucking shitter and come fourth in the other 4. Come last in the other 4 rounds, and they'll only take the 8 best. So that is just one of the 4 disposable throwaway rounds for me this season. I intend to go to all the 11 others. I've been to 2 already, so the other 9 that would be, I think. Yeah, I think, yeah, 9. Oh, I'm not smart. I'm just tired. But I intend to attend every other round minus that one in December because I'm going to be away. And then there's 2 more in January. There's one at the start of January and one at the end of January. And that's the end of, this is known as season 2. It starts from it starts from July to January. And then season 1, which is the following year, 2026, is going to be probably very end of January, I imagine, like the 31st or something. And that will run all the way till July, like early July, around my birthday. If not July, if it doesn't start in January, I imagine it'll start in February, and they'll just add an extra round in, like a few extra months in here and there. But apparently, according to some people, like the regulars there, some people reckon that season 1 is better to start with than season 2 if you've never done one before, because it starts cold and gets warmer, so it gets gradually easier as the season goes on, because the weather should improve. Oh, it was a big pile up. I was right. I got past 4 fuckers there, and I think 2 of them were lightweight and 2 were heavyweight. So my patience had paid off. I'd done 3-4 laps of seeing no one, and then everyone. So that was amazing. So I did gain a good few positions there. The other thing was, so they were saying season 1 is easier because it starts really cold in Jan, Feb, and then it will finish in the warmth of June, July. And I was like, okay, that's fair enough. And then some people were also telling me that season 2, which is what I'm doing, is the better way to do it because it starts really warm and gets colder. So the easier rounds are the first round. So I was like, oh, fair enough. And that guy kind of slipped up there, and I think he has the heavyweight band on. Yes, so that was a heavyweight I overtook, or I'm in the process of trying to overtake. The piece of shit car is just not fucking giving me much. There we go. Went uber defensive on the inside there. Oh no, yeah, and then someone came skidding right around me, and then just, it was a fucking lightweight as well, which is just annoying. He literally dive bombed, skidded, slowed my momentum to a fucking crawl. I know he wants the places back, but still, it's like, fuck off. Anyway, so, yeah, season 2 starts warmer, gets colder is the point I'm trying to make. And with the final races being in January next year, that's going to be fucking freezing. So I can only imagine this is going to be, this is only going to get harder as the season goes on. And also with the new layouts I've got to learn, because this international layout that you're seeing in this video, like all my other videos from Daytona Milton Keynes, is the only layout I've ever done until literally 3 days ago when I did round 2, and they changed it up with the cliff drop, which you see on the left there. You'll get a clearer look of it in round 2, and the bus stop, which is on the left of this hairpin here where the tyres are. You can kind of just see out the corner there, and it kind of does like a nice chicane, comes out about here. So yeah, I like that layout, the cliff drop and bus stop, I believe it was. That was really cool. All the veterans were moaning about bus stop. They hated bus stop. I quite liked it. I thought it was quite good. But I think it's because it was fresh and it was different, and I've been so used to the international layout that I wanted something different. The next event is, I don't know what round 3 is actually. I need to look at that. Round 3, I think one of them is cliff. I think cliff cliff drop is 1 for sure. Have a look. Oh, it's on my desktop. It's on my computer instead of my phone. Never mind. Yeah, I think it's cliff drop and link back, which link back, to my understanding, you'll see a corner coming up here. So instead of it being a gradual just right turn, you go straight ahead into that tyre wall, do like a hairpin and come out back onto this bit where I'm just now. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to slow that corner right the fuck down. Because that one you can... I think the idea is you're supposed to either cruise through that one or you're supposed to keep your foot down through it. I kind of, depending on how confident I'm feeling and how my tyres are, I kind of do a mix of the two. So I'm interested to see how link back plays out. Some of the rounds are just 1 change, some of them are 2. So round 2 was 2 changes, round 3 will be 2 changes. Round 4 I know for a fact is international again, so it's going to be this. And then round 5 and 6 I think are just 1 change, so like a bus stop or a cliff drop or a link back. Like, I think it's just an individual change. The good news is I will experience the one I miss out on in December, earlier in the year. I think it's round 6 or 7. So I will have already done that layout. So, and that's the only. I think they're only doing that one twice, so it's not the end of the world. If I don't like that layout, come that round, then it'll probably be a good thing I'm missing that one. so yeah. But the main thing is, I'm just kind of keeping with the pace here. With I don't exactly know where I am. I think I'm like kind of middle of the pack, or 2/3 into the pack roughly. But I'm just keeping pace. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm trying to keep up. The car is not fucking cooperating with me. As you can see, the camera's shaking more than fucking Cloverfield. Just not. It was not a comfortable drive. My back hurt after this as well, if I remember correctly. That guy skidded a little bit. I think he's heavyweight. Might not be. Maybe just a bit more butch than I thought. Maybe he had the armband on the other arm. I had mine on my right arm, to be fair. So I just kind of kept inside, defensive. Another position for me. I did take positions, but like I stated and like you guys saw on the first lap, I basically was fighting an uphill battle the entire fucking race because I was just left right at the back, couldn't do anything, and yeah, it was just frustrating. It was just a frustrating start, and I just had to not let it get to me and just basically take it on the chin, suck it up, and just fucking get on with it. There was nothing else to do. So, at the end of the day, like I said, I got experience. I was very happy to have done what I did, and I definitely, even though there were more drivers in round 2, and I'm not going to give away my result because I'm going to save that for the second video. But even though there were more drivers in the other one and it was a new layout, I felt like I held my own, considering my level of experience. And you'll laugh when you see where I qualified, but considering my experience, I felt pretty good. I felt pretty good with where I was, where I ended up, and just everything in general. And considering I'd never done the layout, the cliff drop and bus stop before, considering that I was racing against way more drivers, and considering I was also driving against people who were more experienced with that layout and had done a lot more championship driving than I had. Yeah, he dive bombed there, that was fair dues. I left the room. I was too focused on making sure this fucking cart stayed on all 4 wheels. Got forced a little bit there and got hit. I wasn't happy with that. Was not chuffed. But yeah, I just I felt good about round 2. I felt good about round 2, and I feel good about the future of the season. Am I going to win a trophy? Am I going to qualify? Am I going to qualify top 10? Probably fucking not, unless I have it was a really quiet championship round. Unless it's something like that, I don't think there was any. I don't think there's any chance of that personally. Obviously, I'd love to fucking get on a podium this season. I'd love to win a trophy this season. That would be the highlight. But I think unless there's a massive accident and I'm able to get past, I just don't see it happening. And that's not me putting myself down. That's just me being realistic with my experience and skill level of karting so far. That guy is fucking ridiculous. The guy in front of me. I remember being really pissed off with him, and the more I sat behind him, the more I got frustrated, and I just was not chuffed. But end of the day, the point is, I'm excited to be doing my first championship season. I'm excited to be meeting fellow drivers. I already made a friend in round 2. I won't give names away, obviously, for personal reasons and stuff. But yeah, it was cool to meet someone and just all of that stuff, and just kind of pick the brains of the veterans and get to know other casuals a bit, like, well, casual championship people, which is kind of my level, where they're like clearly doing it enough that they want to keep doing it. But I'm just there to have a bit of fun. I do it as a hobby. I don't take it very serious. There's points where I get pissed off. There's points where I beat myself up over decisions I make or errors I make and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's just a bit of fun. It's just for a laugh. There is no fucking point in stressing over it, and just, yeah, it's just not worth the aggravation and stress. It's not Formula 1, it's not fucking NASCAR or anything ridiculous like that, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm just go-karting. I'm just go-karting. So, we've got another 10 minutes of this here, and pretty much, to memory, I don't think much changes here. I think the cart just kind of bobs around. I don't know how long I've got there. I'm going so fast past it. I am looking forward to seeing my GoPro footage though, because this is to my understanding, this is a camera I had to pay for. They put it on the top of the helmet. Basically, this is, I believe, a 720p camera. So the quality's not the best it could be. I mean, I thought they would have done at least a 1080, but apparently 720 is what it is. But my GoPro was capturing in 4K, and from the little bit I've previewed of my footage, it looks very crisp, very clean. So I'm happy with that. And I'm excited to keep recording footage. The mount stuck perfectly on the top of my helmet as well. It was really good. The accessory that came with my GoPro to clip it on, that you can't see but I'm currently holding in my hand, is really robust as well. So looking forward to getting back out there on the 4th. I'm going to do a practice session before if I have time. I don't know what day would be best. I'm just having a look. Well, I get paid on Friday, so maybe Saturday or Sunday this next weekend I could go out and have a quick practice session. That'd be kind of good. Just to get a practice session in and be ready, because the following Thursday is round 3. So I'd be excited to see how far I've come and progressed and everything. But I will be doing a different route than the international layout again, like I said. So I think that guy has a heavyweight ban, so I'm trying to get around him, but it's a real fucking struggle. Like I said, very competitive. I kind of just swung it there and hoped I was far enough ahead and make him kind of break it with my defensive move. I don't know whether it was legal or not, I'll be honest, but it's what I was going to do. So yeah, I'm just kind of keep moseying along here. I'm just kind of keeping my head down and just focusing and going as quick as I can. But I'm so glad I didn't get this cart, and or a cart that is in this bad condition. They did tell me if there's, like I said earlier, they did tell me if there's an issue with your cart, bring it in, and if we have a replacement, we'll give you a replacement. So hopefully, I don't have a cart with this bad of a bump and condition. Like I said, it could have been my driving, but the fact that I drove pretty much identically in round 2 and it wasn't bouncing like a fucking trampoline, I put that. I mean, the road ain't that bumpy. There's parts that I need a bit of paving, and I have bounced in many a cart on this track, but to this degree was fucking ridiculous. Like this car was. I feel like I don't know if anyone remembers. Do you remember Moon Shoes? The fucking like toys that you would like have rubber bands and you'd strap yourself in and then you'd like bounce around and stuff, and it would be supposed to be like you were on the moon. Fucking loved that as a kid, but it basically felt like that, but a very jarring, bouncy, back-busting, back-breaking fucking version of that while you're going 50 miles an hour. It just sucked. It just absolutely sucked. But like I said, good experience. Glad I got my feet wet finally with a championship, and I'm looking forward to doing more rounds. The other thing is that I got my helmet back. I'm going to do a go-kart kit video at some point. I did record one on my phone, but for some reason HDR was on, and essentially I think I said last lap. Essentially I recorded it, and then the cameras, sorry, not the cameras, the colours would flick every like half second from yellow, bright fucking yellow, like pretty much looking like I belonged in The Simpsons, to black and white. And my kit is quite colourful, so it's either all yellow or fucking black and white like an old movie. And I don't know what the fuck happened, and it turned out I had HDR on. I didn't realise I had HDR on, and my kit fucking just there was no colour. You could barely see anything of my kit. My kit is green and yellow, like you're kind of seeing here. My arms are green, my legs are yellow, going for the Green Bay Packers uniform sort of thing. And just, yeah, I just don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I really don't. But I'm going to re-record it on the GoPro when I have a moment. My karting shirt and shorts need washing from this event. I haven't had a chance to put them in the wash. But they're on the to-do list. So once they're washed and cleaned, I will show off my kit again and do it with a GoPro properly. And that'll be a video I'm kind of happy to do. So yeah, that's the end of the race. It's just my honour lap, so to speak. Just going around slow half speed just to get back to the pits. And out of 23 drivers, my final position. So I qualified. Where did I qualify again? Hold on. So I qualified 18th. I gained a few positions. Then I lost a few positions, and I ended up 17th out of 23. However, because of me being in the heavyweight category, I actually got points for my performance. I got 6 points, 6 championship points, which I don't know what position you have to come in to get that. Let me Google that. Motorsport point, championship points. Should have done this probably before the thing, but yeah, F1 championship. This will be. How many points do you get in F1? Here we go. Beginner's Guide to F1 championship. Oh, I've got to look at Max Verstappen's ugly fucking mug. So I just want to know how many points you get. Like, just nothing but fucking lines and lines of text. I don't want that shit. I just want to see how many. Here we go. Right. So yeah, if I was first place, I would have got 25 points. Second place, 18 points. Third place, 15 points. Fourth place, 12. Fifth place, 10. Sixth place, 8. Seventh place, 6. Eighth place, 4, 9th place 2 points, and then if I came 10th I would have got a single point. So I got 6 points, which meant I was 7th place on the heavyweight category. So I was pretty chuffed with that. But I don't know how many points I got for round 2. That still hasn't been determined. They are going to email us when we know for sure. But yeah, I had a pretty. I mean, the fact that I was able to get points in my first ever championship race. Even if I got a single point, I'd have been fucking chuffed. Because I knew the way it was structured, I had to get at least top 10. And I wasn't sure how many heavyweights there were, so I was like, well, let's just see how this goes. But yeah, pretty much, I'm very, very happy and very chuffed with the fact that I got any points. And the fact that I got 6 was a good first round to me. Considering the shite start I had because of the accident that happened right in front of me. Considering that I struggled with the kart I had, and just the overall level of competition around me, I felt very fucking good about that. I felt pretty good about coming 7th. To double check myself there. Coming 7th in the heavyweight category in my first race. I thought that was pretty fucking good. So I'm interested to see how the point structure kind of plays out for round 2. See if I improved, see if I didn't. I'm willing to bet I didn't, simply because of how many more drivers there were. There were 7 more drivers, which means there were 7 more slots that probably weren't going to get any points. Depending, I don't know how many heavyweights there were off the top of my head. It was quite almost down the middle. So if there was hypothetically 15 heavyweights and 15 lightweights, that means 5 people were not getting points for each category. Because you had, like I said, you have to be top 10 to get even a point. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I also want to see if I can get better than 7th now. That's kind of my target. Like I said, I don't know if I got better than 7th in round 2 or not. I need to have a look. They're just doing me on the weight bridge here to make sure everything matches up. And yeah, all good, because I didn't put any weight on because I didn't have a Taco Bell while I was driving. Don't Taco Bell and drive, kids. So that's me pulling back into the pits. Not much more to really say. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching me ramble for 30-ish minutes. And round 2, I don't know if I, like I said, I don't know if I did better. I need to look at the results and do that when I make that video. But what I will say is the quality was definitely improved. I'm very happy that I have got a 4K GoPro sorted now. I'm glad I did it. And then they turned the thing off for me and I put my hand up like I was dying in Battlefield 3.